Okay, so for this lesson, we're going to look at circle equations that are in a slightly different form. And the way you can figure out the center and radius from these things is by completing the square, something you should have done in algebra probably more times than it was entirely necessary. And here's some steps on how to do it. Step 1, you're going to group your x and your y terms. For the x and y coefficients, not the x squared or y squared ones, you divide by 2 and square them. Whatever results you get for this step here, you're going to add to both the left and right side of the equation. Then you add and subtract the term without a variable to both sides. Cancel it from the left and the right. You factor your x and your y trinomials into perfect squares, and you find the center and radius using the formula we had before. Obviously that looks a little confusing, so let's actually do an example. Okay, so step 1, we want to group our x terms and our y terms. So we have x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 6y plus 3 equals 0. Yes, this does make a circle, I swear. We just have to figure it out what it is. So over here, step 2, what we're going to do, we're going to divide these terms here. So negative 2, positive 6. If you divide them by 2, so I'm going to do this in kind of like a thought bubble thing here. And we have negative 2 divided by 2 squared equals negative 1 squared, which equals 1. And then here we have 6 divided by 2 squared, which is 3 squared, which is 9. So that's like a little aside. We'll get back to that in a second. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add those to the left and the right sides of the equation we had before. So give me 1 second to set it up. So now we're going to take what we did in step 2, and since we did it with the x, I'm going to put that there. And since we did this with the y, I'm going to put that there. So that's on the left side, and on the right side, plus 1 plus 9, there we go. Okay, so what we want to do now, and that's step 3, check. What we want to do now, step 4, we want to add and subtract this original term here. We just want to get rid of this 3. We want to move it over to that side. So let's move it over to that side. We'll subtract 3 from both sides. Boom, boom. And then I'm going to rewrite this equation a little easier now. So we end up with x squared minus 2x plus 1. That's kind of like all one thing. That's a trinomial by itself. Plus y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals, and we have 1 plus 9 minus 3 is 7. All right, so step 5. What you want to do is you want to factor your x and y trinomials into perfect squares. So basically what we want to do is turn this into an x something something squared plus y something something squared equals 7. And I'll give you a hint. We've already done the work for this. Once you divide this by 2, get the negative 1, that's what goes right here. Because x minus 1 squared is x squared minus 2x plus 1. So this one's going to be minus 1. And then here, when we divided by 2 on this one, we got 3. So this is just going to be y plus 3 squared. Boom. And then the last step, the final step. We got to pluck the center and the radius out of this using what we did before. So the center, remember, change the signs, is 1, negative 3. And the radius, remember, if that just says 7, then we got to take the square root of that. The radius is the square root of 7.